Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps and another episode of twinning. Twinning because we're twinning our fragrances with fragrances that other companies already have. This is like probably in the top 10 of most used duplication fragrances, and that is Fruity Rings, Fruity Cereal. Who knows how many other synonyms all the different fragrance oil suppliers come up with, like rainbow cereal. It smells like Froot Loops, like Kellogg's Froot Loops. The first time I made this, I left out one of the colors because I was not very comfortable with my ability to pour all of the colors of Froot Loops into one soap and not have it look nasty. But I was a lot more confident this time around. There are lots of different colors, and so without further ado, let's make some soap. Let's blend up our lye water solution. I did add a little bit of titanium dioxide to it, and I also added a little bit of sodium lactate. Oh, I'm nervous about this one. I am not gonna lie. I did add quite a bit of titanium dioxide into this one, so I'm gonna pour off what is about half, and then I'm gonna mix it again, just to get anything off the bottom. Oh man, this is such a big batch. All right, I'm gonna call that good. And now I have to measure out 6 accents. Let me tell you something. The most underperforming soaps, I'm just gonna let you in on some little royalty soap statistics. The more colors I add to a soap, the worse it sells. I don't know why. Any soap that has like over 4 or 5 colors performs significantly worse than the others. I don't know if it's just too busy. I don't know if people just can't wrap their head around like rainbow pastel looking soaps. I do not claim to know the reason. They just don't perform as well. I say that, but my best-selling whipped soap is Fruity Cereal. So another reason I'm making this soap is experimentally to see how it sells and whether or not this new group of customers that I have is more interested in seeing very complicated bars. In the past 3 years, the soaps with 3 colors sell the best. We don't really have enough points of data for me to be very confident about why this works the way it is. I don't know if it's because of those soaps' fragrance. I don't know if it's because of the color scheme. We would have to do a lot more number crunching and all of that kind of stuff, but I'm just telling you what I know. The other thing that makes this soap slightly trickier is that all of the colors need to be ready at the same time. Okay, let's see how many of these I can fit into frame. I think the last like kind of rainbow type soap I made was the Fruit Punch soap. And yeah, that one did bad. Okay, let's add in our yellow, our orange, our green. This green is so good. Our red, our blue, and our purple. Now I'm gonna blend them in with the stick blender, and then we'll add the fragrance oil and blend that in by hand. Okay, now I have to measure fragrance into all of these. This fragrance oil does discolor the soap batter ever so slightly. It takes it from like a creamy white to a tan. But if you're used to working with discoloration like that, it really shouldn't be that big of a problem. Okay, this is going pretty quick. I thought it was gonna take me forever to like blend everything in by hand, but it really isn't that bad. Okay, I think I'm finally ready to start pouring. My table is feeling really quite small. Let's start by getting a little bit of this white on the bottom, and then we can start with our darker colors and move our way up to our lighter colors. I'm gonna aim for getting 2 passes. I really don't want these colors to blend that much. When you do soaps that have a lot of colors, you have to be careful about stuff like that because it can go from super pretty to very, very mottled very quickly. This looks legitimately so good though. I was very careful with how much color I added into each one of these layers because there isn't the same amount of color payout in all of the Froot Loops. Like the orange looks kind of yellow and it's very pale, and so is the yellow. Both of them are very pale in comparison to the other colors. The purple is also a bit pale. Okay, let's pour in some more white, kind of break everything up. I will scrape this white on top after I'm done. Now we can start scraping down the sides. I'm probably not going to save a lot for the top just because we are going to put embeds on top of this, so we don't really need to. Goes our blue. Looks great. Let's do our green next. Go ahead and get our red in there. Pouring from very high, trying to get that pretty far into the soap if I can. Okay, let's tap this down. That actually leveled out super good. Just gonna put this white on top. It's like milk in the cereal. Just get as much as I can on top of there before I tap down again. Using the larger end of my chopstick, I am going to swirl this. Just really big swirls, nothing fancy. Again, no modeling the colors. We just want a bit of the color peeking out on the top, indicative of the surprise color on the inside. Go around the edge here. Ooh, that was almost too much, but it still looks good. Right, let's go ahead and mark off those lines. Someone said they are making a plea for me to get a long yardstick that's like 14 inches so that I'm not guessing every single time I do this. And honestly, that's such a good idea. Okay, lines made. I always try to dump the color off into the corners if I can. All right, let's place our slab grid and our markers where they're supposed to go. I'm gonna make them the same color because it's easier that way. These do not have to be placed exactly in the middle. This is a handmade product, so I just want to make sure that every single bar has at least 2 of them, but they don't have to be exactly perfect. Now I'm going to mark every single bar so that I don't have to place in the grid every single time, because that is such a pain. This is a way faster way of achieving the exact same result. Now I'm going to remove the slab grid and using a little bit of soap magic, watch this. And here we go. Now, doesn't that look tasty? This soap takes 20 minutes longer just because of embed placement. Hurrah! But we're just gonna spritz the top of this with a bit of rubbing alcohol, and then I am going to add just the tiniest amount of bio glitter. It's iridescent, so it's pretty enough to catch your eye, but it won't last past the first wash. I only want it a little bit. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for about 30 hours or so. I really want this to turn out perfect, so I'll probably let it sit in the mold a little bit longer, but then we'll be back. We'll split the slab into 4 loaves and cut those loaves into bars after this quick commercial break. You guys, this soap fragrance is a dead-on duplication, okay? It smells exactly like Kellogg's Froot Loops. I mean, there's a reason it's the best seller in whipped soap. And this is what it looks like on the inside, all of our Froot Loop colors. The fragrance does discolor to this sort of like creamy off-white, but to me, that just looks like what cereal milk looks like after all your cereal's been in it, so I'm not gonna complain. And hey, if you like soap with a lot of different colors in it, then you vote with your dollar over here at Royalty Soaps. I stopped making so many colored ones because people didn't buy them and they didn't like them. But if you are a new viewer and you're like, no, make more of those, well, the more I sell, the more I make. Supply and demand. And you have to tell me now what your favorite cereal is. We ask this periodically because we do make some cereal soaps, but they've come out with new cereals since I was a kid. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm glad you like Froot Loops, but there's this new thing and I'm really loving it. And I'm a cereal girl, so I want to hear about it. Tell me about your favorite cereal down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This soap will be available with the rest of the twinning collection in August. All the deets are on screen now. I believe the next soap that we're going to make is the one that I made with the duplication fragrance you guys requested the most on Instagram. I put an Instagram poll like, what are your favorite fragrances from other companies? This one got a ton of votes, so I decided to go ahead and make a soap out of it. Have an absolutely royal day. Do something fun for yourself today, like eating a bowl of your favorite cereal. I love so many different cereals. Listen, Raisin Bran is like, oh, that's one of my favorites. But you know, I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.